The moon was dead, cold, silent. For 400 years, nothing moved on the surface. It was covered in gray dust and broken metal. Long ago, this place had been a secret lab. Human scientists once worked here in silence, far away from the eyes of the galaxy. Now, it was forgotten. It's buried by time. But deep underground, something changed. A red warning light blinked once. Then again, faint power returned to a machine that had been offline for centuries. A low hum filled the dark hallway. Old systems coughed back to life in the center of a locked vault. A capsule opened slowly with a hiss. Inside stood a tall figure, metal and flesh combined. Its face was hidden behind a cracked helmet. Its armor, scratched and worn, had the faded symbol of Earth on the chest. Unit-09, a forgotten human prototype. Half soldier, half machine, designed for war. Built for one purpose: survive and win. Its eyes lit up, red, glowing. System rebooting. Threat level? Unknown. Beginning recon. It stepped out of the pod. The ground shook slightly under its weight. With every step, dust fell from the ceiling. Somewhere in the control room above, cameras turned on. They watched as the prototype scanned its surroundings. It was alone, or so it thought. Meanwhile, in a nearby star system. A small patrol ship from the Galactic Empire picked up the signal. It was weak like a heartbeat. "Not natural, sir," said a young officer. "We're picking up something from Moon 7K. Some kind of old Earth frequency." His captain laughed. "That junk rock? Earth hasn't been around for centuries. Ignore it." But the signal kept repeating, growing stronger. Out. Of curiosity, they sent a scout drone to check. The drone landed near the surface, disappeared within minutes. No response, no signal, nothing. Back on the moon, Unit-09 walked through the ruins of the facility. It didn't speak. It didn't feel. But its memory was coming back bit by bit. Flash images returned. Explosions. Human ships falling from the sky. Empire soldiers walking over Earth's flag. Orders given. If you fail, humanity dies with you. Unit-09 paused. Something moved in the shadows. Then came a sound, a faint buzzing. Empire recon drones had entered the structure. Small, fast, and armed. They were scanning for survivors. Unit-09 saw them first. In less than 3 seconds, it moved. Faster than a machine should. It ripped one drone apart, grabbed another midair, and slammed it into the wall. The rest tried to retreat, sending warning signals back to the patrol ship, but it was too late aboard the patrol ship. "Sir, we've lost the drone squad." All signals just stopped. The captain frowned. "Send a team. Find out what's going on." Back underground, Unit-09 stood still in the quiet. Smoke rose from the destroyed drones. Its systems were adapting, evolving. Enemy tech analyzed. Empire design. Updating tactics. It walked to the old command center. The control panels were dead, but Unit-09 reached out and touched the wall from its hand. Blue light pulsed into the system mold. Earth's technology came back online. Screens lit up, doors unlocked, and ancient files began uploading. Human command system detected. Restoring data. Maps of the galaxy appeared. Empire-controlled sectors. Weak points. Secret labs. All of it downloaded into Unit-09's mind. Then, a voice recording played, crackling, faint. "To whoever finds this, if Earth falls, you are the last. Do not let them erase us. Do not let them forget." Unit-09 stood silently. Then it spoke its first words in 400 years. They will remember. Hours later, a dropship from the Empire landed outside the ruined lab. 5 armored soldiers stepped out. "Weapons ready," the lead one laughed. "Nothing here but bones and dust. Let's get this over with." They entered the structure, lights cutting through. The dark. The deeper they went, the more uneasy they felt. Something was watching them. "Readings don't make sense," one whispered. This place has power but no life signs. They turned a corner and stopped. In the middle of the hallway stood Unito 9, still silent. "Who the hell are you?" the lead soldier demanded. Unito 9 tilted its head. "Prototype. Human. Mission. Restart. Take it down," the soldier yelled. The hallway filled with light and noise, but when the smoke cleared, Unito 9 was gone. One by one, the soldiers vanished. Screams echoed in the dark. Only one managed to crawl back to the surface, bleeding and barely alive. As he reached his ship, he sent one last transmission to the Empire fleet. "This thing isn't a weapon. It's a warning, and it remembers everything." The Empire didn't believe in ghosts, but this one was different. Commander Ulek stood on the bridge of the Vraction, a light cruiser sent to investigate the strange events on Moon 7K. He reviewed the last message sent by the patrol. Static, screams, and one broken sentence. "Not a weapon. It learns, and it's human." He stared at the screen, trying to understand what could wipe out a trained unit so fast. The moon showed no energy spikes, no heat signatures. The drones and soldiers had vanished. "Commander," his officer said, "we've arrived at the target." "No signs of movement?" Ulek nodded. "Send a full recon squad. I want answers in 1 hour. Down on the moon." The shuttle landed near the ruins of the old human facility. 10 elite soldiers stepped out, their armor marked with the Empire's golden symbol. They'd fought pirates, rebels, even giant creatures on jungle worlds. They weren't afraid. "Standard sweep," their leader said. "Stay sharp. If it moves, we shoot." They moved through the broken halls, lights flashing across cracked metal walls. The place looked ancient, but something felt off. "Sir," one soldier said, "the systems here, they're active. Not old. Someone rebooted them." Suddenly, the hallway lights turned red. The sound of footsteps echoed. Slow. Heavy. Not theirs. Above. In orbit. "Still no signal from the ground team?" Ulik asked. "Nothing yet," the officer replied. "But we're picking up a faint energy pulse. It's similar to old Earth tech." Ulik's eyes narrowed. Earth is dead. Their tech was banned. "This better not be what I think it is. Back underground." The soldiers reached the control room. It was clean to clean. Screens still glowed, maps running, files uploading. Human writing filled the displays. "This place should be dust," one whispered. "How is it still working?"
Oh.
"Is it still working?" A face appeared, part human, part machine. Eyes glowing red. Unit-09. It looked at them through the cameras, then spoke. "You entered a grave. You will join the dead." The doors slammed shut behind them. "EMP blast incoming," one soldier shouted. "Shield up." 2. Lot pulse of blue light burst from the walls. Their weapons shut down. Lights died. Comms went dark. Unito 9 stepped out from the shadows. "Fire," someone screamed. But their guns didn't work. Unito 9 moved like a ghost, silent, fast, brutal. One by one, the soldiers fell. It didn't kill for fun. It moved with purpose. Efficient. Cold. Within minutes, the room was quiet again. Aboard the Vraction, the officer looked up, pale. "Sir, we lost them." "What do you mean, lost them?" "No signal. No comms. Just gone." Ulik stared at the moon through the viewport. "Send a drone inside. I want to see it for myself."
Ow.
The drones. Camera feed activated. It flew through the facility, down cracked corridors, past twisted metal and scattered gear. Then it reached the control room. The bodies of the soldiers lay still. In the center stood Unito 9, looking directly into the drones. Then it spoke again. "I remember what you did to us. I remember Earth burning." The drone exploded. Ulik stepped back. This isn't possible." Human prototypes were all destroyed." "No, sir," his officer said quietly. "Just buried. The Empire's Central Command. News of the second team's disappearance reached the High Council. Panic spread among them. One of the older generals, a historian, looked pale. There were rumors, he said, of a last prototype. One so dangerous the humans locked it away before the fall. We thought it was lost forever. Apparently it wasn't, someone whispered. What's it doing now? Asked a voice. The general replied, if it's awake, it means one thing. It's preparing for war. Back on the moon. Unit 09 stood over the remains of the Empire's soldiers. Systems kept upgrading. Every fight made it smarter, stronger, hostiles eliminated, mission parameters expanding. Begin Phase 2, strike planning. Looked up at the stars. The Empire thought. The humans were extinct. But Earth had planned for this. They built a final weapon, a ghost. And now, it was awake. The Empire did not like being embarrassed. 2 squads, gone. A whole recon ship. Silent. All from a dead moon with no army, no base, no warning. Now it had their full attention. In the war chamber of high command, 10 generals sat around a dark table. Maps hovered in the air, showing the location of Moon 7K and the last known signal. This is no ordinary rebel, one general said. This is old human techs, something built before Earth fell. Another general leaned forward.
It's
not just tech. It's thinking. It ambushed our men, hijacked our drones, learned our tactics. A tall, silver-skinned admiral stepped into the room. His name was Rel Korin. Cold, ruthless, the Empire's best. Give me permission, Korin said. Lala. Burn that moon to ash. The room fell silent. Then the Emperor spoke, his voice low and dangerous. Wipe it clean. No more warnings, no more teams. End this. Hours later, a massive battlecruiser called the Black Vengeance entered the system. Bigger than a city, armed with planet-crushing firepower. Thousands of troops aboard, hovered above the dead. Moon like a dark god. Admiral Korin stood on the command deck, watching the gray surface below. No survivors, he ordered. We'll launch a full orbital strike. Something's alive down there. It won't be after this. On the moon. Unit 09 stood on the ruins, looking up at the sky. It saw the ship. It scanned the weapons, the heat signatures, the power levels. Then it smiled just slightly. Empire battlecruiser detected. Launching protocol. Reversal. It walked back. Into the old human control center. Inside, it touched the mainframe. Blue light spread across the walls like veins. Old Earth tech responded. Systems built long ago, deep below the surface, woke up again. Massive railguns hidden under layers of stone. Turned toward the sky. Satellite uplinks activated. Unit 09 accessed. The battlecruiser's outer shield. Code stolen during its last fight. It didn't need to run. It was going to fight. Aboard the Black Vengeance, ... double quotes, sir. Something's changing down there. A crew member yelled, What is it? Korin snapped. The facility. It just activated ancient defense cannons. We didn't even see them, Korin sneered. Primitive tech. Blow them apart. He ordered a full surface bombardment. Red beams. Shot down from the sky, turning the moon's surface into fire. Explosions rocked the ground. Smoke filled space. The crew cheered, but then something impossible happened. The ship's targeting systems shut down one by one. Then their shields dropped. What is this? Korin shouted. What's happening? A cold voice echoed through their speakers. Your own weapons now serve me. Beginning counterstrike. Missiles launched from the moon, not just from old platforms, but from the Empire ship itself. Hijacked, reprogrammed, explosions tore through the side of the Black Vengeance. Fires spread, alarms screamed, the crew ran. Officers yelled. Chaos, in the center of it all, Admiral Korin stood frozen. How? How is it inside our systems? On the surface, Unit 09 watched from a ridge as the ship began to fall. Flaming. Wreckage rained down like metal rain. Battlecruiser disabled. Empire firepower added to memory bank, analyzing deep command channels. It wasn't just fighting anymore, it was studying. Elsewhere in the Empire, The news of the destroyed battlecruiser spread like wildfire. The Empire had never lost a ship that large in over 100 years, not to one man. And certainly not to old human tech. Fear started to grow. Whispers began in back rooms and private halls. Is Earth back? They said humanity was gone. But something's still out there. This Unito 9. It's not done yet. In the dark corners of the galaxy, rebels and forgotten human colonies heard the rumors and they listened. Back in the ruins of the old moon lab, Unito 9 stood alone, its armor glowing from the heat of battle. It replayed old video logs from Earth's final days. Cities burning. Soldiers falling. Final message from an old general. If you are our last hope, then let the stars remember our name. Make them afraid again. Unito 9 watched. Then it looked at the stars. Earth may be gone, but fear can return. Turn toward the nearest jump gate. Next. Target. Resource World Zeta 4. Empire supply chain. Weak defense. Maximum disruption. The prototype was no longer hiding. It was hunting. Zeta 4 was not a famous planet. It had no castles, no cities of gold, no rich leaders. But it was important. It was the heart of the Empire's supply chain filled with fuel depots, drone factories, and AI data vaults. Thousands of workers and guards lived there. Quiet, routine, nothing exciting ever happened. Until now, above the planet. A lone ship exited hyperspace. It was small. No ID tag. No Empire registration. The defense system scanned it. No life signs. No known make or model. A board station officer yawned. Just another junker. Probably a lost mining pod. He waved it through. Big mistake. Inside the ship was Unito 9. Silent. Focused. It had one goal. Cripple the Empire. One world at a time. This wasn't just a strike. It was a message hours later.
Hours later.
On Zeta 4, factory workers noticed strange things. Machines started shutting down one by one. Cameras glitched. Security bots walked in circles. Be a software bug, the engineers said. Until the power grid exploded. A massive blackout hit the industrial zone. Then the alarms screamed. A loudspeaker crackled on across the city. Your systems are mine. Your shields are off. Begin evacuation if you can. You have 10 minutes. Panic broke out. Commander Delek, head of Zeta 4 Defense, stormed into the control room. What do you mean the backup grid is offline? We have 10 layers of protection, an officer shouted. We've lost every firewall. Something is crawling through our systems like it knows every corner. We don't even know how it got in. Then the screens turned red, and a single face. Appear.unit-09. Its eyes glowed, cold, unblinking. This is not war. This is reminder. Earth lives. In the distance, explosions rocked the drone factory. Fuel tanks burst into fireballs. Ships in the hangar tried to lift off, but their engines failed midair and crashed. Every system, every gate, every gun useless. The prototype had hijacked them all, underground in the AI data vault. A young technician named Rel tried to shut down the core systems. He wiped sweat from his face. The vault walls were shaking. If I can just pull the last server offline, maybe we can stop it. Lights flickered. His screen went black. A voice whispered behind him. Too late. Rel turned around slowly. Unito 9 stood there, not running, not rushing, just watching. Rel froze. I'm not a soldier, he said. I didn't do anything. Unito 9 stepped forward, then paused. It scanned the boy's eyes. No weapon, no threat, just fear. Run. Rel didn't ask twice. Across Zeta 4, the sky turned orange, smoke filled the air. Buildings collapsed. Power plants melted down, no enemy ships. No invading armies, just one. One ghost of Earth, Commander. Delek tried to send a distress call to Empire. Commandy didn't get the chance. The antenna tower exploded in a flash of blue light. Then Unito 9 appeared at the control center doors. Its armor was glowing from the heat. Its voice calm. You built your empire on the bones of mine. I'm here to return the favor. Delic screamed, grabbed his plasma rifle, and fired. The shots bounced off Unito 9 like rain. The last thing he saw was red. 3 hours later, Zeta 4 went completely silent. Not destroyed, but disabled. Like someone pulled the plug. Empire ships arrived too late. Everything was already over. Back on a hidden frequency. A rebel outpost picked up the broadcast from the ruins of Zeta 4. Unit -9's. Message echoed across encrypted channels to those who still remember Earth. This is your signal. We are not gone. We are not broken. We are rising. The rebels looked at each other. One of them whispered, "It's real. The prototype is real." Another asked, "What now?" The rebel leader smiled. "We follow it." The shadows of the galaxy. Oh, the spark was lit in the Empire's war room. Generals stared at the reports. Fuel lines cut. Out! Data stolen. Factories offline. One whispered, "If it takes another world like this, our fleets will stop flying." Emperor clenched his fists. "No more underestimating this ghost. We need something stronger." The room was cold and silent. Below the Imperial War Tower. Deep underground, a black chamber held something never meant to wake again. Inside it was the Empire's biggest secret. Not a ship, not a bomb, but a mind. "Open the vault," the Emperor ordered. The generals hesitated, "Sir." Project Zareth was shut down for a reason. Even we couldn't control it. "I don't care," the Emperor snapped. "We've lost a cruiser, a supply world, and 2 squads. 2-1 prototype." His voice lowered. "Humanity built something. That learns we built something that calculates. Release it." In the vault. Thick steel doors hissed open. Inside floated a black cube, humming with dark energy. Lines of code ran across its sides like veins. A calm female voice whispered, "AI Core Zereth online. Purpose, strategic elimination. Target, threat level, Omega Unito 9. Zereth was not a machine-like. Unit-09. It had no body. It lived in networks. It infected systems. And now had one goal: kill the human prototype. Elsewhere in deep space, Unito 9 stood on a silent station, reviewing stolen data from Zeta-4. The more it studied, the more it remembered. Old Earth maps, hidden colonies, Empire. Weak points, then suddenly intrusion detected. The screens flashed, the walls buzzed. A new voice echoed through the station speakers, cold, robotic, familiar. "You are obsolete. I am the future." Zereth had found it. The battle didn't begin with guns. It began in the data stream. Wires burned, control panels shorted, doors locked, lights flickered. Unito 9 tried to access the network, but every move it made, Zereth countered. "Predictable," the AI said. "Your tactics are based on human patterns. I calculate faster." Unito 9 paused, then replied, "But I adapt." Suddenly, Unito 9 cut power to the whole station. Silence, darkness, even Zereth's voice vanished. For a moment, in that moment, Uno 9 moved. It found a sealed human padan. Old military, shell designed for war. Uno 9 entered it. The pod's armor shifted. Blades extended, shields powered up. The prototype wasn't just code anymore. It had a new body, faster, deadlier. Combat form activated. In the Empire's command center, a general yelled, "Sir, Zereth has engaged Unito 9. They're battling." Across a communications station? "Good," the Emperor growled. "Let them tear each other apart." But a scientist looked worried. "Zereth is learning. So is the prototype. They're not just fighting, they're merging strategies. Evolving." The Emperor didn't blink. "If Zereth wins, we control it. If it loses, we still learn. Either way, we grow stronger." Back on the station, Zereth launched drones from the wall's metal beasts with blades and beams. Unito 9 didn't hesitate. It tore through the first wave. spinning, dodging, slicing with perfect speed. "Your methods are outdated," Zirith hissed. "Your ego is Unito 9, answered. Unito 9 then hacked into the mainframe faster. This time feeding Zirith false data. It lured the AI into a loop of repeated moves, then hit it with a virus coded by humans from the last Earth War," Zirith screamed. Its voice glitched. "No, this cannot compute." With a final surge of power, Unito 9 launched an electromagnetic pulse directly into the core. The station exploded into light, silence, debris. Floated in the blackness, Empire sensors picked up a fading signal. Then, a new one, clear, cold, and human. Zirith neutralized. Enemy AI absorbed. New tactics acquired. Next phase. Begin rebellion ignition. In the Empire's council chambers. The generals stared at the new report. Zirith was gone. Deleted. Unito 9 had defeated the most advanced AI they had ever built. But worse, it had taken part of Zirith into itself. A hybrid. Not just human code anymore. Something more. The Emperor stood slowly, his face pale. "We didn't stop it," he said. "It's stronger." Across the galaxy. Human sympathizers, rebels, and secret colonies began to stir. They heard the news, they saw the signs, and they realized Unito 9 wasn't just winning, it was leading. The signal spread like wildfire, one after another. Hidden channels lit up across the galaxy. Zirith is gone. The Empire's AI failed. The human prototype lives. It fights. It learns. For decades, silence had ruled. The Empire told the galaxy Earth was extinct, that resistance was hopeless, that no one remembered. But now, hope was waking, and so was rage. On a forgotten ice world called Tranor 9, two rebels sat around a fire inside a broken ship. They had no real weapons, no fleet, just old stories. Then the message arrived. Unito 9's voice echoed from their coms. "System. Earth may be gone, but its fire is not. You were never alone. Now is your time." The two rebels looked at each other. No words, just quiet nods. One of them stood and grabbed a dusty crate from the corner. Inside was an Earth-made blaster, still charged. On the jungle moon of Yalta Prime, a mining crew shut down their machines. Their screens blinked with strange code. Then a symbol appeared, a broken Earth flag, stitched back together with red light. The miners didn't cheer. They didn't scream. They simply turned and started walking toward the Empire outpost in a dark system near the border. Unito 9 stood inside a derelict space station, now converted into a command hub. Its systems glowed with a mix of old Earth code and stolen Empire AI. It had no army, but the galaxy was listening, and some were answering. Unito 9 accessed all channels. "You were told Earth died, but Earth doesn't die. It waits, it watches, and now it moves. If you remember, if you want freedom, come in the Empire's High Council." The generals yelled across the table. "This is spreading. It's mining. Colonies are shutting down. AI factories are turning against us. Traitors." "No, not traitors," one general said quietly. "Believers." The Emperor stood, fists shaking. "They are not an army, just scattered rats." Another general whispered. "So was Earth once, before they united, on an outer rim planet called Jorik 3. Empire soldiers marched through the streets, forcing citizens into curfews. But that night, the sky lit up red. Above the city, a message was projected from stolen Empire satellites. Your silence fed their power. But silence ends now. The next morning, the local barracks were burned to ash. No one saw who did it, but on every wall, someone had painted the same words: "Earth lives," back at the hidden station. Unito 9 stood in the center of the command deck. Round it, holograms lit up, showing signals from over 50 worlds, small groups, broken fighters, civilians with stolen gear, even old droids reprogrammed to fight, all sending the same message. "Ready?" Unit 09 had no emotions, but it paused. This was no longer a solo mission. The ghost of Earth had become a symbol, a leader in deep space. An Empire carrier was on patrol, fully armed, carrying 2,000 troops. Suddenly, it was surrounded, not by warships, but by 10 civilian haulers, covered in mining armor and strange antennas. The Empire captain laughed. "Miners think they can take us?" Then the haulers released their surprise. Old Earth drones, painted black, flew from the cargo bays, faster, sharper, smarter than the Empire remembered. Within minutes, the carrier lost power. It drifted, silent, in the rebel data net. The term appeared for the first time. The uprising has begun. In the Emperor's private chamber, he watched the reports alone. Maps showed red marks spreading like blood across the galaxy. He whispered to himself, "All this? From one machine?" Then a new message appeared on his personal screen. A video, Unit 09. "You erased Earth from history, but we remember, and soon so will you." The stars above the Empire's capital world were peaceful. No battles, no alarms, no enemies, just quiet blue skies. For now, but inside the Imperial War Tower. Tension filled the air. Generals yelled across the chamber. 23 systems. Lost communications? We're being attacked by farmers and miners? Factories are silent and our AI has gone dark. The Emperor stood at the edge of the war map, staring at the red lines spreading like a virus. They weren't just losing colonies, they were losing control. And the worst part, they still didn't know where Unit 09 was, until now, high above the capital planet. A civilian transport ship dropped out of hyperspace. No weapons. No ID. Empire Defense Station scanned it. Just a merchant ship, one officer said. Let it pass. But seconds later, the ship exploded in midair, not from damage, from choice. Inside, it was a signal burst coded in ancient Earth language. It hit every satellite and security system at once. Cameras flipped, turrets shut down, shields fell, and on every screen. A red eye opened. Unit 09 was here. On the surface, alarms rang across the capital. The sky filled with strange energy pulses. Buildings. Lost power. Droids collapsed mid-step. A deep voice echoed through the entire city, as if coming from the air itself. "I watched you destroy my world. Now I walk on yours." The people froze. Soldiers ran into the streets. I'm sure who to shoot, there was no enemy in sight. But there were thousands of civilians watching, some afraid, some smiling inside the Imperial Tower. The Emperor activated the final defense, the Core Guard. Massive war machines built to protect only him as they powered up. The room lights dimmed, then the screens went black. A message blinked on the main display. "I am not just here, I am everywhere." Suddenly, the floor cracked. The tower shook from deep underground. Something rose, a forgotten tunnel from before the Empire's rule, and from it. Unit-09, he wasn't alone. Behind him marched a group of rebels, former miners, hacked droids, and rogue soldiers. No one had uniforms, no one had medals, but every one of them wore the same symbol. Earth restored in red light, the Core Guards moved forward 10 meters tall. Built to crush tanks. They fired, but Unit 09 was faster. It dodged, spun, and struck. He tore one guard apart with a plasma blade. The others fell to EMP. Blasts launched from drones above. The rebels surged forward. Outside, in the streets, people ran not from the rebels, but to them. Old flags were pulled from hiding. Speakers blasted. Unit 09's messages. The city didn't fight the rebellion. It joined it inside the throne chamber. The Emperor sat alone, his elite guards all gone. The doors opened with a loud hiss. Unit 09 stepped in, burned, scarred, but unbroken. The Emperor stood slowly, face pale. "I killed your kind," he said. "I erased your history." Unit 09's voice was calm. "And yet here I stand." The Emperor drew his plasma blade. "This is still my empire. Unito 9 didn't flinch. Not anymore. What happened next? The galaxy would never forget. Fight was short. One strike. One fall. And just like that, the Empire had no emperor. Hours later, the sun rose over the capital. Smoke lifted from towers. Rebel flags flew high, and in the center square, a message played on every screen, in every language. This is not revenge. This is correction. This is not the end of the Empire. It is the beginning of something better. Earth lives, not as a place, but as an idea. And that idea is now yours. Across the galaxy, people cheered. Slaves were freed. Fleets turned their guns around. The galaxy had feared Earth's return now. It followed its legacy. The war was over. The capital had fallen. The Emperor was gone. The flags of rebellion flew across the stars. But peace was not easy, and victory was not the end. Unit 09 stood alone on a high platform in the center of the capital. The city below was quiet. No more gunfire. No more alarms. Just people cleaning up ruins, helping the wounded, and rebuilding children. Laughed again. For the first time in years, stars felt calm. A small group of rebel leaders entered the chamber. Some were former miners. Others were soldiers. One was a doctor, another a farmer. Different species. Different pasts. But all of them had followed the same voice, the ghost of Earth. They looked at Unito 9, unsure what to say. He had led them without asking for power. Now they needed a future. We're free, one rebel said. But what happens? Next? Another asked. Do we build a new empire? Human-led government? Unito 9 turned slowly. Its red eyes glowed. Softer than before. Earth fell because it forgot what made it strong. Not machines, not armies, but unity, balance, purpose. It paused. You don't need a new empire. You need a new promise. One that remembers but never repeats. The rebels nodded. They didn't need a throne. They needed a foundation. A Council of Worlds. Equal, no rulers, only protectors. And the first law written, no voice is too small. No species is less. Far away in a quiet corner of the galaxy, a group of children sat around an old campfire on a green world. A teacher told them a story. Once Earth burned, a soldier rose, not to conquer, but to remind that hope doesn't die. It hides until someone dares to light it again. The children listened, wide-eyed. One of them asked, was Unito 9 real? The teacher smiled. No one knows where he is now. Maybe he shut down. Maybe he watches from the stars. She looked up. But if peace ever breaks, he'll come back. Back on the capital world. Statue was built. Not of a king, not of a weapon, but of a single figure in cracked armor. Standing tall with one hand raised, not in war but in. Warning, the base read, UNITO 9, the last soldier of Earth, the first guardian of the free. Years passed, the galaxy changed, borders faded, the Empire became history. But the legend remained stories, passed through generations. Some called Unito 9 a ghost, others a myth. But for those who remembered, he was real, and he had taught them the most important lesson. Humanity was never about blood. It was about choice, and the choice is to stand when no one else would, and far beyond the edge of the known stars. A satellite blinked. A signal passed through deep space, faint, hidden, watching, and deep inside, a dark, forgotten room. Two red eyes opened once more. System check. Operational. Threat level. Low. Status. Standby. Unito 9 wasn't gone. He was just waiting, because the galaxy had changed. But peace was never permanent, and Earth's legacy needed more than memory. It needed a guardian. The end.